All right, guys. So I'm evil, and some of you make women uncomfortable. Okay, we need to talk about that. Talk
Yeah.
about how you do that. So sorry, it's a late video today. Like she came yesterday, and Tim White, like I went to sleep, and I just kept sleeping like during the day, and I couldn't stop, bro. She was outside.
We didn't sleep much at night, to
Yeah,
be fair.
yeah, she's implying we had relations, but yeah, but the thing is, while I was asleep, right, and she couldn't get in, basically she was in her car, and she said some dude walked up and knocked on the window to the car, and it's like, bro, like you're a man, like don't do that,
Yeah.
like that's scary.
Mind you, there were other men like around in their cars. Why would you not go to one of your fellow men?
Yeah, I see that it was like probably a half opportunity to spit game, but you can't do that. That's like the worst option. She even said she was trying to like ignore him at first,
Yeah.
and bro didn't get a hint.
No, I was ignoring him, right? Like he kept knocking, I was looking away. The thing is, I forget this car isn't tinted. And from outside, I can hear him. He's like, "Yo, like, your windows aren't tinted. Like I can see you in there."
Like, bro, isn't that real? Isn't that ridiculous? Like, can you not like take a hint or something like that? Like, that reminds me when I'd be texting somebody and they'd be like, "Oh, I know you're on your phone. You post on these other apps." Like, bro, clearly I don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Hey,
understand this. Hey, but just particularly when it's someone you don't know, take the hint, bro. Like,
literally.
it's okay. But actually, it's not even okay that you're in that position to begin with. Wait, I just realized I didn't do my self promo yet. I stream every day on Twitch, Bryce_Estelle. I have a lives account in a Discord that I'll put in the description to this video. But yeah, like what is bro thinking, man? And today's video originally it was gonna be about the bad person stuff, but then when she told me that story, I was like, I think I gotta talk about like men being creepy a little bit, even without knowing. But the thing is, I feel like some men are really like sticklers when it comes to the whole creepiness thing because they're like, oh man, like I'm creepy. I shouldn't be held to like the possibility of being creepy just because I'm not like that. They're like, I give everyone a fair shake. Why is no one giving me a fair shake? And it's like because like you're a man, like it's easier for you. You know what I mean? Like I know some men where like they specifically will like try to like actually they don't say this out loud, but I can tell, bro, like it's like there's something where they could not be creepy, right? You're walking, it's like two of us, we're walking side by side behind a little white woman at nighttime, right? And it's like you're walking back there, and then I'm thinking, bro, I'm like I'm just in situations. I'm like, hey, bro, let's cross the street. And he's like, what? Why? And I'm like, bro, because she's up there. You don't want her to think like she's in any danger. He's like, no, bro, keep walking. And it's like, see, like this is the problem, bro. Like these things are actually so avoidable when it comes down to it. And the thing is, there are times where I remember one time I used to just take walks downtown in the middle of the night. There was this woman I walked past her like 3 times. She looked very disheveled, very much like she wasn't okay. And I was thinking, I was like, bro, should I like ask her if she's okay? But then I gotta look at myself. I'm like, no, like that convert. Because again, I'm thinking about me. Now, me personally, I have immense anxiety. So I'm not saying I feel like a woman, but like in certain situations, I have fear of everybody, like every possible stranger. Like when someone walks behind me, I feel anxious about that. So I'm like, I can only imagine being like a tiny woman. I'm a large 6'6" male. So it's easy for me to say, but I'm like, in those moments, how hard is it to not be creepy?
Very easy.
Yeah, it's very easy. It's like, but again, like a lot of people are stuck in like their intentions. And the thing is, it's not even a gendered thing at the end of the day. Like it's gendered because the whole like, size, strength gap, speed gap. Like I don't know if I ever told you this story, but basically I had these friends, right? And they were telling me that they were walking downtown. Again, downtown, this area. Area is actually horrible, like when it comes to like sexual assault. So, anyways, basically they're walking. They got catcalled and it really made them uncomfortable. Started walking. Got to a point where they like felt the need to, I forgot how it got here, but they felt the need to run away. And then this man was like, I can run too. You know how horrifying.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I told that on TikTok the other day because I just remembered it. Yeah, it's a horrible story, bro. And it's like I forgot like how they got away. They were like near like a Target or something. But it's like imagine, bro. Like imagine it was a time where there was nothing they could actually get into. But as I was saying, a lot of like men and women don't think about being creepy. Like I've had women do things where I'm like, bro, like you're being creepy, and it's like, no, and it's like, no, like yes, you are. Like please stop this. Like a lot of people got to realize it's time to like leave people alone as a society.
I'm not gonna leave you
Like,
alone.
I remember one time I was trying to leave this person's place, and then they're like, "Oh, if you don't leave, I'll suck your dick." And I'm like, "That's
Did
kind."
you stay?
No, I left. Like that's the point. Like the point is, I'm like, I wanted to leave, and I'm like, I want like her to imagine like some dude being like, "Hey, if you stay, I'll eat your pussy."
Stay.
Yeah, okay, so she was saying it would work if it was me. But at this point, like me and her didn't have that kind of relationship. I'm like, this is not the kind of deal you can strike with me right
That's
now.
kind of a crazy thing to say.
It is, bro. Tell me why she just popped a bottle of champagne and she was trying. I'm sorry, I promise I can get back to the point. But like, as we're warming up to it, she was like, "Oh, like let's pop together," and I was like, "I don't want it like And I was like, I can't look at it because I've seen too many horror stories about people getting like popped in the eye or something. Like personally, like when I clip my nails, I don't even look at my hands because there was one episode, I think it was Malcolm in the Middle, that I accidentally saw when I was a child. This dude clipped his nails and it got in his eye. But anyways, so I was like, bro, I'm not gonna look at it. She was like, no, like it's fine. Da, da, da. I was like, nah. She's like, okay, I'll turn it all the way the other way. And then I was like, okay, bet. And she turned all the way the other way. Bam! Like smashed into my wall.
Premature ejaculation.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, back to the point. There's a lot of stuff to be scared of, right? You know, as a human being. So I feel like we should be very, very empathetic towards, you know, women because they're very like afraid of things, you know, and trust me, the thing is, I know if I'm afraid of things, being this large 6'6" man, I couldn't imagine being like some, even just a short man. I'd be afraid. There's really no need to be stubborn about it. Like I see obviously like all the discourse online too, a bunch of men are mad about it. You know, men like, oh, you don't want us to approach you, you think we're creeps, da, 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 da. Like I know men who they don't approach women out of spite, and they've made that clear. Me, I've never been an approacher just because I'm not an approacher. That's not who I am. So I hate it, you know, when I'm spewing my rhetoric of like, hey, bro, you don't have to approach. And then they're throwing in the like, oh, man, but because they think we're creepy, which is an element, I will add. Not for me per se, but like, I mean, in general, when a man says he doesn't approach a woman because he doesn't want to be seen as creepy, a lot of women are like, what? The solution is to just not be creepy. There are absolutely women who are creeped out by a man approaching them in the first place. And there are men who hear like, hey, it's okay to approach women and will elect to do it the creepy way regardless. Like there's not enough universal lingo between what's creepy, what's not creepy for us to have any sort of, you know, just blanket slate. Yep, this is what's okay to do. Like I remember this one time years ago, I was on okay, there's a couple things I want to tell you. For one, I remember I was in high school, I was in the locker room, I was dating this girl at the time. She was kind of a known bop, like people knew she like slept around. But yeah, we're in the locker room, right? And then the thing is, I wasn't too bothered about it, but they were asking me, they're like, oh, did you hit? Yeah, I was like, nah. Like, but you know, obviously I'm over here, I'm a hormonal teenager. I do want to have sex. So they're trying to give me advice. And this one dude, he says, bro, just, you know, y'all be chilling in like the car or whatever. I'm like, yeah. He's like, just pull your dick out. She'll know what to do. I'm like, what do you mean she'll know what to do? I'm like, what do you mean just like whip it out? He's like, bro, just take it out, bro. She'll be able to handle it. And it's like, bro, what? Like that is like wrong. But then he's like, bro, it works. But then the thing is, I went to college and there's this girl everyone's talking about, again, another renowned bop. This dude said like he was at her place, she was at his place, something like that. And then like she turned around, she was doing something. He pulled his pants down, and when she turned around, she was like, yep. And then she went to slopping him up right then and there. She asked if I could do that to her, perhaps. But yeah, no. See, imagine she didn't want to do that, right? And the thing is, there have without a doubt been tons of situations where the people didn't want to do that, and undoubtedly, I know that because this other girl I was talking to basically told me this one dude. It was kind of a weird situation. She hung out with him. I think it was to make her ex jealous or something. But the crazy thing is, she did this knowing that he had herpes. Okay, now I know this sounds like a very like, oh my gosh, out there story, but like. It was like her ex's friend, and she wanted to make her ex jealous, so she was linking up with him. But she knew from another girl that he gave that other girl herpes, and she's telling me this story, and I'm like she's telling me the story as like I got revenge on my ex story, and I'm like, nah, this is kind of like, yeah. If I knew someone had herpes, and I knew they wanted to sleep with me, like if it's a platonic friend who has herpes, bro, like I'm not gonna cut off a friend for that. But like if I know someone wants to sleep with me and they have herpes, I'm not gonna invite them over and just hope they don't sleep with me, and then basically just like sit in the corner and hope they don't like kiss me without my consent or something. Like that's a nightmare situation. But anyways, she said that he went to the bathroom, and then when he came out, like they ordered pizza when he went to the bathroom, came out. No pants, okay? His meat was just out. And then she was like, what are you doing? Like, can you put your clothes on? And he was like, oh no, like I'm so embarrassed. And apparently he literally started like crying in front of her because he was trying. But like the thing is, she was able to handle that situation in a composed way, at least from what she told me. And imagine like that scarred a woman. Like imagine she thought, you're just chilling out, hanging, you're like a good guy. And then all of a sudden, you just whip your pants down. Oh, but mind you, that is the same girl where when me and her were linking up, she was mad that not mad, but like when I didn't make a move, she thought that meant I didn't like her. So I'm like, bro, she's never had these normal interactions. Speaking of abnormal interactions, she just told me a story. When the first time she gave someone sloppy, afterwards, handed her a 20.
I felt so dirty, guys.
Did you take the 20?
No, I threw it in. I like grabbed, because I didn't know. He slipped it to me like this, right? So I grabbed, he slipped it to me like pretty like discreetly, and I was like, oh, what's that? I grabbed it. I thought it was a condom. Like I thought like he was whatever. I look at him, and I crush it. I throw it in his face. I didn't even know what to do with that. Like I didn't even know what was going on.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. That may be the method. Okay, see now, this video is about to be about me being evil. Now this might be the method. Okay, let me explain. Have you ever, slept with someone that you don't like very much, like as a human being, as a person? Any sort of acts with them, any sort of entanglement, they made you mad, something like that. Next time you sleep with them, next time you obtain sloppy from them, give them like a 10. Give them like a low amount of money. It make
The 20 like that. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like at least if you're gonna slip me 100, bro. At least.
Exactly. But imagine you toss her a 10, toss her a 20. She's gonna be like, what? Because not only is it the fact that's like, what? I'm not a prostitute, but it's all. But it's also the fact where it's like this amount of money, a 20, that's all that was worth. Now, straight up, like give them a buck. And this is look, I'm telling you this right here. This is gender neutral. Okay, you can do this to men, do this to women, because isn't it funny? It feels like your pipe or your kitty cat is much more valued when you don't receive any money.
No,
versus
literally.
versus receiving a low amount of money. Oh my gosh, I remember there was this girl in high school. Oh, bro, it was horrible, bro, because she was my crush at the time, mind you. We found out that she was giving people head for $5.
I might be the least boppest woman you've ever had a crush on.
When I tell you, I've been a bop enthusiast from a very young age. Like it's always been within me. Mind you, the things that when I had a crush on her, it was before I knew that she was giving out sloppy for $5. But the crazy thing is, people know I liked her. I don't know who spread the rumor. To this day, I don't know who spread the rumor. But people started saying I was one of the people who paid her for it, and it was so horrible, bro. Because I had to combat the rumors. I was like, no, and like people were DMing me from all over. They're like, oh, Bryce. So they're like, I get it. They're like, I understand how it gets, bro, but you can't pay for it, bro. You can't do that. I'm like, no, but like I didn't. But there's so many situations where people didn't believe me and it hurt so bad. I remember one time after this football game, this is not dating related and it's very random, but after this football game, I had sweat coming down my forehead into my eyes, right? Now, this is my sophomore year, not that it matters, but when sweat gets in your eyes, it burns. So I'm like this, like I'm like wincing, I'm blinking, but coach is talking, so I have to go up and look at coach. And then coach is like, look, I don't mean to call guys out here, but Bryce is crying. And that's not okay. Now, I swear to God, I was like, ah. And the thing is, literally, as soon as he said that, I was like, ah, because I'm not gonna, go back and forth with coach. Yeah, and then I went into the locker room, right? And I had I had my best friend on team, bro. I hope I don't dox him. His name was Dallas, bro. Great guy, love Dallas. So, anyways, I had to go up to him before anybody else because me and him, we were both sophomores at the time. I knew that would come in handy later, and we were on varsity. We're the only sophomores on varsity. So I went up to him. I was like, bro, like, dude, they're saying I'm crying. I was like, bro, but I promise you, it was just sweat getting into my eyes. Because the thing is, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was never the type of person to care if we won or lost. Like, obviously, I'd prefer winning, but I wanted to have a good game. I wanted to carry the team, and yeah. If we won, I wanted to win the game single-handedly, and I did that one time. Okay, I'm telling you a little story. I'm sorry if you don't care about football, but basically, I remember it like it was yesterday. The other team had 4 downs. We were up by like, I don't know, we were up by like 2 or something, right? So they could have got it with a field goal. But they're at their own 20. First down happens, incomplete pass, right? Second down happens. I'm rushing, and then I get around the offensive tackle, right? And then I find the quarterback, I jump at him, he kind of gets out, and I grab his jersey with one hand, and I pull it. And I think I missed. Like, I think he completely, like, juked me out. But then I get up, and I push I could have got the craziest flag for this. I pushed the old lineman, right? I shoved him. But then by the time I shoved him, I saw that the quarterback was on the ground. I turned around, thrusted just like that, and then right on the field, bro. Right on the field. There were plenty of people who were very mad at me about that after the game. But then third down happens, okay? Next one, I get a good rush, put my hands up, incomplete pass. Fourth down happens. I go, and we're never supposed to turn inside. I turn inside, I get the sack to end the game. I get up, I stand stoically, and I walk. I walk to that fucking bench, bro. I was so goated in high school. Now don't you think I peaked in high school? My high school life was horrible, but I'm saying athletically, like as a football player, oh yeah, high school. But yeah, no, like I literally, like winning that game by myself, those are the times I care about winning, when I'm like, yeah, like I did that. You know what I mean? Like everyone should be like worshiping me right now. Like that's what I felt. But you know what I mean? Like it's like I don't care if we won or lost, but here I am they're here thinking I'm crying and stuff, and I'm trying to explain. And the thing is, I told my best friend, right, and he got it. He was like, "Oh yeah, ha ha ha." And then other people came up to me. They're like, "Bro, it's okay. There are other games." And I was like, "Dude," I try to explain. I'm like, "Bro, like it's sweat." And they look, that look that someone has in their eyes when they don't believe you. That shit, the bane of my existence. And the thing is, I'm not the kind of guy to be like, "Oh no, I didn't cry." I would even in elementary school when it was like prime like toxic masculinity in children. If I cried, I would be like, "Yeah, I cried." Like I never lie about that sort of thing. So it was a horrible moment. Anyways, not gonna lie, I can't even go back to find out how I got to this point in the conversation. But anyways, oh yeah, no, dude dropped his drawers, showing meat. But yeah, it's like that dude probably heard the same thing that I heard in high school, but didn't have the discernment to be like, okay, yeah, that's weird. And I remember like there was like years ago, like I remember I went live and I was talking about this like girl that I was talking to, or that me and her like stopped talking. I was like, man, I wonder what happened. People were telling me to like go to like her place of employment, and I was like, man. Like what? Now, mind you, at the time, like it was different for me because like she didn't work I think she worked at like one of like the bars on campus. So it wouldn't have been weird for me to show up. But it's like people didn't know that. So I'm like, bro, if she just worked at a car dealership and I pulled up just to talk to her, that would be very weird, right? But a lot of people, they'll do that. They'll be on that type of timing. Dude, I don't even know where this is coming from.
Recording?
Yeah, I didn't. See, I don't know what she did all that for.
I don't know who that man is.
But basically, but it's like there's some stuff where like if you're a woman and there's some like beautiful man where you're like, oh man, me and him never got the chance to exchange information, and like he showed up to your work, it might not be weird. Like if he was just there, like it might not be weird. However, for most people, most 99% of the time, it is going to be weird. So it's like I very much understand. And the thing is, look, obviously, I like to think that I know what's okay and what's not okay. But again, I know the average man or those other men might think they know that as well, but then also not know that. But you know what I'm getting at? It's like I understand the lack of approaching. Like I feel like that makes perfect sense. However, I feel like when people do it out of spite, when they're like angry about, like I don't think you should be angry about the fact that like women don't want to be approached by creeps, even if creeps are only men that they consider ugly. Because to be honest, aren't ugly people creepy to us all?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Pretty privilege is deserved and earned. Because people earned it by becoming attractive. Yeah, that's what we're just talking about. But you know what I mean, though? It's like don't not be a creep out of spite. Okay, don't be a creep because you don't want to be a creep. You don't want to make people uncomfortable, and understand that like you being potentially a creep in someone's eyes isn't anything personal. Like again, it's right now it's like 11 p.m. If I walk outside, and I say something to some woman, it might come off as creepy because it's 11 p.m. and I'm a very large man, black man at that. Now, mind you, if they have some little racism there, that's not necessarily my fault. But I just mean me being a large man approaching a woman at night would be spooky for them. And one thing that I just wish I knew like all the things that people consider doing. Even I'm not even saying bro was trying to hit on her, right? But like knocking on a woman's car door window. Are you insane? Okay, see, I'm gonna have to end this soon because she's trying to get freaky. But yeah, bro. She literally like she was like threatening to like reveal the reveal the goods like on video.
That's not true. I would never do that on video
Anyways.
unless nobody was watching, and except for you. It was for you.
Okay. But yeah, you see, like basically, like that's something that I think is unacceptable. And I think that again, there are the little things like crossing the street, like if you're behind or about to cross paths with a woman. I think that's not a big deal, but like a lot of people have an issue with it. But I hope you can really like think internally about like, man, if I was like super small and someone who could unalive me with their bare hands did this, would I be creeped out? Like, just think about that before you engage in any action. And I think you'll be solid. But that's the video for today. I'm sorry it's so late. And again, sorry it's so short, man. I was slumped. I was sleeping. But again, we're still on the daily upload grind. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, everything I have to say. I'm so sorry. And I love you. Have a great day, night, evening, morning.